at the beginning, we would hire, people that had 25 years in bookkeeping experience, and they were great and they knew their thing, but they were always, I found, just very focused on the way that they would do things. And, we like to mold people the way that we like our clients to be serviced and our accounts to be done. So realizing as we would go along and make these hires that, you know what, I don't think this is the right fit. It's not working out. And bringing in that young talent, especially these days with everything going into the cloud, we need those young people to come in and say, hey, yeah, we want to do these projects. We want to take this on. We want to take the lead in this.
You're listening to The Successful Bookkeeper with your host, Michael Palmer. Listen each week as inspiring guests share their secrets of success to help you increase your confidence, work smarter, and build a business you love. This episode of The Successful Bookkeeper is brought to you by PureBookkeeping.com, the proven system to grow your bookkeeping business.
Welcome back to the Successful Bookkeeper podcast. I am your host, Michael Palmer, and today's show is going to be a good one. Our guest is the founder and CEO of Mulrooney and Associates, which has grown into a leader in the bookkeeping, accounting, payroll, and taxation industries, and has over 18 years experience serving the Waterloo, Ontario region and beyond. Carrie Mulrooney, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Michael.
I saw you at the Institute of Professional Bookkeepers of Canada national event, and actually one of our listeners dragged you over to the booth and said, this is a person that needs to be on the podcast. I went and had a look at your website and I said, wow, you have built what an interesting business, and there's all sorts of signals of things that I can tell are awesome going on over at your organization. That's why I wanted to have you on the show. But let's help others understand you and get to know you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what led you up to this point?
Okay. So thanks, Michael. Yeah, absolutely. So I started out doing some basement bookkeeping just over almost close to 20 years ago. And during that time, I realized that there was a real air of desperation out there for good quality bookkeeping services. That being said, I noticed that there was a lot of mistakes and errors and not good things happening from the bookkeeping industry. And at that point, I said, you know what, I got to do something about this. So I looked into some designations, some professional associations and stuff like that. At that time, I had decided that I was going to move forward with, continuing and finishing my education and working with employers at that point before I started my business. So that's kind of where I got my start from, just realizing that, hey, you know what, there's really something out there that really needs to be done about this.
So when I looked at your website, I saw this great picture of you and your staff outside your building, and everyone's smiling, happy. And I mean, I've looked at a lot of websites, bookkeeping business websites, and I just instantly felt like, wow, something awesome is happening over there. I can imagine that has really been good for sort of putting out to the world what you're all about. But how did you build a type of team that look like they're just jumping up and down, happy about working for you?
Well, I mean, we all do have a really good time. So our motto is that, you know what, we all work really, really hard, but we also work hard at having a lot of fun. So, quite often you can come into our back area where the team work and, nose to the grindstone, faces are in the desks and on the computer screens. But we have a really unique culture. And when we do our hiring, Michael, what we do is we really look for the right fit for our business. And that means that it's going to be the right fit for our existing team, the right fit for our existing clients that we have. And of course, there's all the other components of education and experience, but we like to be able to mold people the way that they need to be for us and for our services. So ensuring that they have a great attitude, they're respectful, that they can be really diverse in dealing with all different clients in lots of different ways. So for us, the culture is, we have a really unique culture, and we've just kind of built it over time, and it organically, I think, sort of happened. But in my years of working for other companies, I realized that I knew how I didn't like and didn't want to be treated. And I ensured that, my team get to have some say, and we get to make decisions together, and we get to work together on projects. And I don't know everything, and nor do I pretend to. So I always go out to the team and say, hey guys, you know what? We need to do something about this. What are your thoughts? What can we do? We have regular team meetings. We have really cool events that we attend. We take the team out to celebrate our achievements and our busy times of years and stuff like that. So I think that really, just organically happens, and they're a great team, and we do have a lot of fun.
That's great. Well, I think there's always a saying that leadership, the fish rots from the head down. Your fish is not rotting. So that says a lot about you and your leadership style and what you're doing. But I'm imagining that it's not all shiny. You've probably had some challenges along the way. Can you share what didn't work in your early days?
Yeah. So, one of the things that I did when I started my hiring, by no means I'm a bookkeeper by trade. So HR is not, necessarily our thing, I think, for a lot of bookkeepers. So for me, it was always a challenge, and it still is a challenge up to these days, but I've learned and I've grown, and I've said, okay, this is what I'm not going to do, this is what we're not going to do next time, and so on. One of the things that I found was that hiring for us, which has worked really well for us, is hiring young, fresh students out of the colleges, out of the universities, has made a big difference. We used to, at the beginning, we would hire people that had 25 years in bookkeeping experience, and they were great and they knew their thing, but they were always, I found, just very focused on the way that they would do things. And, we like to mold people the way that we like our clients to be serviced and our accounts to be done. So realizing as we would go along and make these hires that, you know what, I don't think this is the right fit, it's not working out, and bringing in that young talent, especially these days with everything going into the cloud, we need those young people to come in and say, hey, yeah, we want to do these projects, we want to take this on, we want to take the lead in this. So, well,
I think it speaks to the number one key that Michael Gerber in E-Myth, and the E-Myth is the entrepreneurial myth, and the concept around building a business that works and runs on system, is that you're not hiring people that are going to figure it out and do it their way. You need people that are going to come in and do it your way, and you have your way, and it's your company, and it's your name on the door. And so you have to have people that are going to subscribe to that. And so it's great to hear that you're winning with young, fresh talent out of colleges and universities. That's exciting.
Yeah.
So you've been named Canada's Bookkeeping Firm of the Year in 2017. Now, this is relatively new. Share a little bit about what led up to that and what that's been like for you.
Oh, well, the nomination and the award came through the IPBC, which is, as you mentioned, we were at conference just recently, the Institute of Professional Bookkeepers of Canada. And when I was in my early journeys of, getting designations and getting educated further in the bookkeeping field, I joined the IPBC quite shortly after it became the association. And I've worked really closely with the IPBC over the last, 8 years, and we really have made a lot of progress in the time that we joined. I was a one-man show, one-man bookkeeper. I didn't hire my first team member until 2010, and that was part-time. And now we've worked our way up to 12 team members, and have had exponential growth to the point where we moved out of corporate offices in our home into buying a building here in KW and operating that, and actually now at capacity and looking to expand further into our locations. So, and building other locations. So through that journey, we've had a lot of growth, and of course, bringing these young students and educated people, even in maybe second careers, wanting to come in. We're a real advocate for the IPBC and what they've done for us as bookkeepers, and we ensure that all of our team are designated and certified. It's really important for our clients and for our business to have people who are professionals and educated working on their books. So I think a lot of that has led to, where we're at these days and receiving and being honored with the amazing award of Bookkeeping Firm of the Year. We've had a lot of challenges. We've had a lot of growth. We've had a lot of, great opportunities. And the IPBC has been a huge support of that for us.
Beautiful. It's exciting, and congratulations on the award. I think it really just speaks to the type of business that you've built. Now, as an owner and someone that's gone through this process, what have you seen for you as being the key things that you need to focus on?
Well, I think the focus always changes, and as growth happens, it changes. And, at the beginning, I was, really involved in all the accounts, and I knew every client, I knew every due date, I knew everything. So, I've seen the evolution of the changes happen for us over, these 18 years. And, just really being aware of what's happening and being able to say, hey, we need to integrate software, we need to put a new practice management in place, being able to know when things are on my plate and say, you know what, I need to pass that down now. I'm at capacity, mental and physical capacity to be able to do everything. And as business owners, we're always wearing 20 hats. But one of the things that we've done recently through, these transitions is we actually have created an organizational structure chart. So which actually shows, here's where everybody is. Our main focus and our main goal is to service every customer the best that we can. But putting some supervisory levels and things in place to be able to allow me to go out and build and do business development and work with the team and ensure that we're bringing in the right sets of clients, that we're able to service these clients, monitoring capacity with those supervisors, and just moving forward in a direction that makes sense.
Very interesting, and you've got a large team, and you it's not one service that you're offering, but many to help your clients. So I like one of the things on your website. If our listener was to go and look at your website, they're going to see the team and see that there's all these different roles that people are playing. I think your website is another really good example of how to put together a website. And some of the things I love about your website is your pictures. You've got a whole bunch of pictures on your website of your team, of yourself. Everybody's smiling. They're great pictures. They're professionally done. I mean, I don't read any of it. I just go right there and I look and I'm like, there's something here that if I'm an interested prospect, I'm going to likely choose you. How have you found this to impact your business? Have you had any of your clients comment on it?
Yeah, quite often we do. We get business in all different funnels through referrals and, people driving by our building, seeing our sign, obviously client referrals, accountants, and Google more and more. We're finding that people are using the internet to search out. We do quite often have people come in, they found us on Google and they do comment, oh, your website was great. I loved your website. I could actually see you and see your team and that. So yeah, we do get a lot of great feedback from that. And we work really closely with a company that looks after our website and that end of things for us. And one of the things that we've worked with them for many, many years, and I remember when we first were recreating our website and doing a rebranding years ago, they came into my office, they sat down, they said, okay, so we're going to take this totally outside of the box. And I looked at them, I said, all right, show me what you got. And, we did some really cool and unique things with our marketing at that time. And even some of our print marketing is different. And quite often we get the comment from people, they say, you guys aren't just like any old bookkeepers. You like to have fun and it's not boring and it's not, typical accountants or bookkeepers. So, quite often we do get those comments, and it's really neat too, because that's just the way we are. We're personable, we love our people, and we want to be able to show that. So
winning formula, can tell you that is the way, it's everyone out there listening. It's maybe you're not the fun people, but whatever you are, bring that out in your website. Be who you are in your website. And I can't, I go to websites and I look and it's like stock photo, and what a waste of space to have anything but who you are and what you're all about on that website. And I can tell you, you've done some work to get found on Google, and you've done that work, and it's paying off. And I can tell you, in my belief, is that it's because of what your web designer and the direction that you've been given. You hired a pro, they delivered, but they brought your personality out in that website. And so people can find you all day long, but unless they're going to click and contact you, it's a waste of time, right? Yeah. So another tip of the hat to you on that. It's really, really well done, and you've done a great job there. Now,
thank you.
You also mentioned on your website that you actually services can be made in multiple languages. Now, I don't think I've ever seen that on a bookkeeper's website before. What prompted you to add that feature?
Well, we have a really diverse team, which we're really fortunate to have, and we do really make a point of hiring diverse individuals from other countries and languages and stuff like that, because they all have really unique things that they can offer. In particular, one of our account specialists right now, she finished all of her accounting and bookkeeping designations in Russia, and she came here with her husband for work, and now she's part of our team, and she can speak full fluent Russian, obviously. We have a couple of our team members who speak Mandarin. We've got another who speaks only Spanish at home with her family and her child. So, we really do have some really unique individuals who are able to, and quite often, when we get those particular clients that come in that there might be that language barrier in communication, which does happen, they're able to communicate with them in that way, which is great. And I've sat in on meetings and I have no idea what they're talking about, but the client's happy and they're smiling. They're like, yes, okay, I understand. And so it's really neat to be able to offer that service to our clients.
Yeah, it's really, really remarkable. I think that's, it's interesting. Haven't seen it before, and I think positions you really well. There's a lot of listeners that are sitting in their car or at work, and maybe they're thinking, wow, you have such a big company. How many employees are you up to now?
We're at 12 now.
12 employees.
Including myself.
Yeah, that's a large firm, a really large firm, one of the larger firms likely in your area, greater area. Now, they may be thinking, gee, how do I go from where I am? Now, some people don't even want to go there, right? It's just not of an interest to them to get to that size of a business. But can you share a little bit of how does one even start to think about going from where you've been to where you are?
Well, I think ultimately for me, I had a goal. And when I realized, back almost 20 years ago, how much of a need there was for those services out there, I actually looked around and I thought, okay, why is there so many CPA firms and there's so many legal firms, but why isn't there any bookkeeping firms? Like, this is a service that all businesses need. And at that point, I just decided, you know what, there's got to be other people like me out there who can do great bookkeeping services. So I'd love to build something to be able to service and help the most businesses that we can. And I think from the ground up, it just was my ultimate goal. It's not for everybody, and I know that. And, kudos to all those, one-off bookkeepers, because I do, refer to them from time to time when if there's projects we're unable to look after or whatever for clients based on certain circumstances. And there's a need for all different types of bookkeeping out there. And I just went ground running and said, this is what I want to do, and I'm passionate about it, and I wanted to build it, and I wanted to say, hey, you know what, we can help you, and we can help you, and here's a great team of people who can do it.
Wonderful. So it sounds like from what you're saying, the key for you was you were really clear. This is what I want. This is where I'm going. You had a clear goal, and you've built to get there. Any big setbacks?
I think the biggest setbacks and challenges we've had in the past is always been, I think, from, once we get to that full capacity with, we've got capacity with clients, we've got capacity with team, is okay, we've got to make that next step. We got to make that next step again. And it's always that, I work to the team to the point where they're looking at me going, okay, Carrie, we can't possibly take on another client. And then I bring one in, they're all looking at me going, who's going to do this? And that's where I say, well, we're just going to hire another person. And my challenge and my goal is always at that point is to get more business to fill that role for that employee or that team member that we bring in so that they can be with us, working from a part-time to a full-time level. Capacity from, where are we going to go has been a challenge. Back, in 2013, myself and my partner were looking at, okay, well, we got 5 people in the house now in corporate offices. We're working at a 400 square feet. We don't have any more room for filing. And, at that point we had to say, okay, well, we got to rent a space. We got to buy something. We got to figure out what we're going to do next. So I think for us, capacity from a physical standpoint, and then obviously from a work level has always been that challenge. But what it does is it drives me and it forces me to just go out and go, okay, we're just going to get more clients. Okay, we're going to get some more space here. And it just happens. And, we just go with it.
And so it's really the capacity when you grew out of your space, which I think is an important message, is that your business told you that it's time to get a bigger space. And then to go to that next leap, you said, I got to go get more clients. When that goes through your head, what actions do you take to get more clients?
Well, I typically will take a look at where are we at on a high level, who's doing what, who can help me more, because usually at that point that means that I'm out networking and driving business and creating pricing packages and meeting with clients and bringing them on board. So, I look at, okay, who are my leaders? Who are my people that I can rely on? And I pass, some of those roles and duties that possibly I can't maybe do at that time down. And we're always shifting around. We're always moving around. So, and what I mean by that is, one of our account specialists may be focused on this type of set of accounts, or here working, maybe doing some offsite stuff. It's like, let's pull them in. Let's move this person over here now. And let's do a shift. And it happens all the time. So, and I think they like it because, there's always something new to learn, but they have, they're not stuck doing the same thing all the time. They're like, okay, what's next? Oh, we have another growth spurt. Okay. What's next on my plate? What's coming? What do I get to move out? And how do I help that person now and be able to oversee those accounts? And I think everybody really takes full control and manages their roles, which is really neat to see because they're really proud. They call them, their accounts are their babies, right? So they're like, I got to make sure that this is well looked after for this client.
Yeah, that comes back to your culture. You've built a great team that thinks of it that way, and that's powerful context to live by and work by. Now, listening to you, there's lots on your plate: 12 employees, growth, new locations, strategies, working with clients, all these things, like so much time. I work with so many people that say, I'm bogged down. They're bogged down. They don't have the time. They can't get on to growing the business. They can't get on to working on the business. They're too busy working in the business. How did you overcome that?
I wouldn't say I've overcome it. I would say that it's definitely a challenge every day, because as soon as I think I get a little bit further, then, a big shift comes of business and it kind of sets me back a little bit sometimes. But it's always something that I'm striving for. And like I said, we've put things in place like our new structure and team members to supervise and help. And I used to think that, I'd sit at my desk and I go, oh, okay, QuickBooks Online's coming out and HubDocs is out and Pluto, and I got to know all these systems and figure out how we're going to integrate these into our growth and to what we can offer our clients. And I have to take a step back sometimes and look at it and go, wait a minute, I don't need to learn all these things. That's why I have these amazing, young, vibrant, smart people on my team. And I say, hey guys, who wants an awesome project? Paul, you want to lead up HubDoc? Okay, awesome. Paul is now our Hub Doctor, and he manages all of the HubDoc clients, and does the training and does webinars and stuff like that. So I've kind of given everybody the opportunity to take a project on, things that typically I would think I should be doing, but I don't have to be doing, and And this is where it's great because with their expertise and their experience and their knowledge and their, being young and wanting to do this, it allows them to show their talents, which is really cool, and allows me to be able to take a step back and go, okay, good, that's looked after. Now I can move on to the next thing. So it's I wouldn't say that, I've perfected it. It just kind of happens as we move along. And there's quite often many days where I have to sit down and make myself a list on my desk and take, what do I need to get off my plate now? What are these next few things that I need to do? We're making a shift and changing some stuff up with our payroll. I've always done payroll up to this point. Now I'm like, okay, now I can shift it out. Somebody else can manage that because of the new processes and the new programs and software that we put in place. So there's always things that I'm always looking for ways to change things and move things out. Yeah.
Wonderful. This is it. The enemy of the small business owner is to do it alone. And, you're an example of, I love that you're straight with it. You haven't figured everything out, but you've definitely figured out how to step back and go, hey, where am I not doing the things I need to do well? And then you come up with a solution, and it was to get a hub doctor in the house and delegate and get other people engaged into working on it. So I think there's a really powerful message there. Who have been your mentors? Who have contributed to you to help you figure out how to get to this level of the game you're playing at?
Well, I would say that, I've had some great support from my partner, my husband in my life, which has been amazing. He but enabled me to go back to school years ago, finish off designations while, looking after the kids and the household and all that kind of stuff. Mentor in a different way, I guess, but I have had some associates that I've worked with for years. Some are even clients, and they're my mentors. I've seen them grow. I've watched them develop in their business. And, quite often we'll go out for a lunch and I pick their brain and go, hey, how'd you do that? Oh my gosh, this is where I'm at. We're very heavily involved in the Chamber of Commerce, our Cambridge, KW, and Guelph chambers here at this end. And I'm involved in a lot of programs. I head up some peer-to-peer facilitating groups as well as chair some of the networking groups. And the Chamber's been a really good support for me. They offer great programs and things that I can get involved in where I'm just sitting in a room with a bunch of CEOs saying, okay, I got an issue here. Does anybody have any suggestions? And, I'm able to, it all stays at the table. It doesn't leave the room. And I'm able to get out there and get that support that I need for my business. And sometimes you can't always go to your partner, you can't always go to your team. And there's just those situations where, I'm like, I look for that. I need somebody to help me and guide me here. So because, sometimes you sit in your office and you go, how am I going to deal with this? How am I going to manage this? So
I love it. Just so many best practices for an entrepreneur, reaching out, asking for help, observing others, learning, being curious. These are what lead to great things in the future. And, that's the opportunity that you have as a bookkeeper and working with businesses. You get such an intimate view of what's going on in so many different businesses. That's gold. That's your intellectual property. That's your knowledge. And so many people don't get those kinds of views into business. And I think often people discount or take for granted how powerful and valuable that is, not only from your own learning, but also the ability to make the difference for those people that you're working with, those different, because you're bringing that back to them, likely. Yeah. The other piece that I heard there that I want to really bring forward and highlight is you really speak from, when you're sitting with a client, you're sitting with the client as an equal. Mm-hmm. And that is a mindset that I would say is one of your success strategies and you may not need to even know that it's one of them, but you're a person that is not looking at them like you're lesser than them or greater than them, but you're looking as an equal. And when you come as an equal, it enables people to work together. Yeah. So for the listener, think of it that way. You own and run your own business, whether you're solo or you have 12 staff, you are a person that is running your business. So every single client that you work with at the top, they're running their business, regardless of the size of it. You do meet on equal terms on some level. And so think of it that way. It will increase the chance that you can have rapport and respect, mutual respect with those people. And then that opens the door for opportunities that Carrie here has just really masterfully done in her career. So again, tip my hat to that. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Carrie, this has been absolutely terrific. And I always go over and look at the clock and go, wow, we've already gone through time. You're an inspiration, I think, for our listener. You've done some great things. You're running a great business. You're helping small business in our country. Really, congratulations. And I'm sure people will want to learn more about you. What's the best way for them to do that?
Well, I'm always around and available, and so is our team, depending on situations. I mean, there's lots of things that I get involved in. I'm involved in many groups and networking groups, like I'd mentioned. I do a lot of presenting. I'm on the program advisory committee for the Conestoga College with the bookkeeping programs and stuff like that. So if there's lots of ways to, be able to connect with me and, have a conversation, whether it's over, a quick chat on the phone or through an email or even just coming out to one of the events, that, there's always lots of opportunity for ways to be in touch.
Beautiful. Well, we'll have a link to your website, and if there's any other links you want us to post, we can certainly do that. But
Sure.
This has been really fantastic, and thank you again for your time to be here today.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael.
Well, that wraps another episode of the Successful Bookkeeper podcast. To learn more about today's inspiring guest and to get access to all sorts of valuable free business building resources, you can go to thesuccessfulbookkeeper.com. Until next time, goodbye.
You've been listening to The Successful Bookkeeper with Michael Palmer. For more information and to download the resources mentioned in this episode, please visit us at thesuccessfulbookkeeper.com. Thank you for listening.